KVAL News starts now.
Breaking news tonight, a passenger jet and the 161 people on board are missing near Indonesia. Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Lisa Nico. Thanks for joining us for KVAL News at 11. Our top story tonight. The airline's crisis center says AirAsia Flight 8501 has lost contact with traffic control in Indonesia. According to the airline's website, the flight was on its way from Indonesia to Singapore. It left the airport about 5:30 local time Sunday and was supposed to arrive roughly 3 hours later. AirAsia says the pilot wanted to change planned flight routes in the area because of weather. Then communication with the plane was lost. There was a line of heavy thunderstorms in the area when ground operations lost contact. Indonesian authorities have activated search and rescue operations, which include air and marine units.
Covering the nation, New York City police officer Rafael Ramos was laid to rest in New York City today. It's been a week since he and his partner were ambushed and gunned down in their patrol car. U.S. and city leaders were at the funeral service today, along with about 25,000 other officers from around the country.
I do hope you take some solace in the fact that, as reported by the press, there's over 25,000 members of the same fraternity and sorority as your husband, who stand and will stand with you.
Ramos was just hours from graduating from a community crisis chaplaincy program. At the service today, Commissioner Bill Bratton announced Ramos and his partner would be named detectives posthumously. Ramos also received the title of honorary department chaplain.
A handful of officers from the Portland metro area made the trip out to New York.
Corey Marshall spoke with a detective from Lake Oswego who made the journey.
The scene here kneeling next to officers from Portland, Gresham, Tualatin, and Clackamas County, just to name a few. Lake Oswego Detective Jonathan Funkhauser had never been to New York. He didn't know what to expect when he arrived. All he knew was what he heard on the news.
Protesters still hitting the streets.
Angry about the chokehold death of an unarmed man.
Protests amid claims of police brutality plagued the nation, and he, along with thousands of other law enforcement officers, were headed to what's perhaps the epicenter. When he got there, he says he was pleasantly surprised.
People you don't even know coming up and shaking your hand and just instantly starting a conversation and saying thanks for being here.
Shuttled by buses to the church funeral for New York police officer Rafael Ramos, one of the two New York PD officers ambushed and killed while on duty last week. Funkhauser says complete strangers waved and gave a thumbs up as the buses went by.
It restores my faith in humans. It restores my faith in the profession and the support that people provide each other in times of need.
The church only held 1,000, so the officers lined nearby neighborhood sidewalks.
And if you can picture those 25,000 officers just flooding the streets of the neighborhood, standing shoulder to shoulder for as far as the eyes can see. It seems so difficult to put something so spectacular into words.
This picture provided by Funkhauser gives a little life to the imagery, and on those city sidewalks, the small acts of thanks continued.
What's the message you'd like people watching right now to know?
I want people to know that the majority of officers out there are great officers, great human beings, great members of their society, and are just trying to do the right thing.
And amidst unrest and protest, he says the outpouring of support is overwhelming, especially considering the trip's intent was to lend support to their New York brothers and sisters in law enforcement.
Earlier this week, JetBlue announced free flights for up to 2 officers from every police department attending the funeral. Detective Funkhauser was one of 700 who took them up on the offer.
A crime alert, 2 robbery suspects now in custody after police say they attacked a woman in a Springfield market. According to investigators, 15-year-old Nico Antonio Cordier and 20-year-old Justin Ray Brink beat up a woman outside the Bungalow Market on East 30th Tuesday night. They demanded cigarettes and alcohol, then allegedly kicked the woman in the face. The victim turned to social media and word of mouth to identify the suspects on Facebook. Turns out Brink was actually all already in the Springfield jail after police say he attacked an SPD officer.
So they called us, and the officers went to try and take him to detox, and he actually ended up headbutting one of our officers, and so he ended up in our jail.
Both suspects are facing robbery and assault charges. Those are both Measure 11 crimes. The victim was treated for her injuries and is expected to make a full recovery.
We'll take you to first look at weather. A cool and clear day at Skinner Butte today. Still dry, or do we have rain in the forecast? Lisa's keeping an eye on that for us.
Yeah, David, well, we saw a little bit of everything today, some clouds, some rain, but the good news, if you don't like rain, is that most of it is staying to the north of us. We will kind of see a wetter weekend ahead, though. As we take a look at that satellite and radar composite, you can see we're already starting to see some traces of those showers and plenty of cloud coverage as well. Taking a look at today's highs, we're in the mid-40s in Eugene and Roseburg, slightly warmer out on the coast, 52 degrees in Coos Bay, North Bend, and 50 degrees in Newport. How does that stack up to our seasonal values? Well, we're sitting right where we should be. Look at that, right on the nose. 45 for our high and 33 degrees for our low, right on track. But taking a look at the rain trend, that's changed a little bit since we last spoke. It's actually increasing into the end of your weekend and drying out for your work week. I'll have more coming up in just a few minutes.
We're looking ahead tonight. The Egan warming centers will not open tomorrow. Lisa's talking about some temperatures that mean volunteers won't be needing to report on Sunday. However, they will still be on standby right through Thursday. The Egan warming centers always are looking for volunteers, and if you'd like to help, get on the web at eganwarmingcenter.com. In Cottage Grove, beds for the Freezing Nights Warming Center will be open tomorrow and will be open through Wednesday from 7 in the evening till 7 in the morning. They're at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church. That's at Harvey and North 19th.
Coming up on KBAL News at 11, an Oregon woman is going head-to-head with airlines over something pretty small and pointy. How she says she can help her with her hedgehog on a family vacation.
Plus, the build-up to the Rose Bowl continues. The Oregon Ducks spending the day at Disneyland, but more serious things await. We'll check out Oregon's opponent, the Florida State Seminoles, coming up with Tom Ward in KBAL Sports.